Annihilation. Disintegration. Cleansing. Incineration. Purging. Surprise.
Howdy. So I found a cool mechanic. I threw together this build pretty quickly. This is not a guide. This is more of just the showcase of the mechanic. This build is not good yet. I don't know how to play these builds very well. There's something I'm missing between the PoB DPS and the in-game DPS, but I figure someone who knows these builds better might have some fun with this. So what we're doing is we are using Arcanist Brand on a Detonate Dead, Anomalous Detonate Dead. Alt quality is very important. So if you see at the bottom there, 60% of fire damage converted to chaos. So you put that in, you get an ashes, which gives it quality. So if you read on the skill gem there, 138% of the fire damage is converted to chaos. So we go full fire to chaos convert, and that counts for both the corpse explosion and the spell. So we have this on one Arcanist brand, and we have another Arcanist brand shooting Desecrate, and on Conk Effect and Inspiration. So what we're doing is throwing each of these brands on a boss. The Conk Effect and the less AoE from Arcanist brand makes the corpses spawn really close together. And then what that does is when they go to explode, we have awakened increased AoE on this one, so they all hit the boss is the idea. So the Conk Effect on here makes the corpses spawn together, so they explode closer to the boss. The local AoE on Detonate Dead means that it will overlap and hit the boss with each hit, is the idea. So the reason I want to do this is because of the wording on Annihilating Light. It says deal triple damage with elemental skills. So that doesn't mean deal triple elemental damage with elemental skills. It just means any skill that has a fire, a cold, or a lightning tag will deal triple damage no matter what damage you do, whether it's chaos, physical, elemental. If it has the tag, it does triple damage now. Congratulations. So I thought chaos stacking would be cool with it. I'm sure fire would be good with this setup too. So what we're doing is I'll pull up the PoB really quick and kind of explain how everything works. So tree looks like this. The PoB will be in the description as well. A few of the important nodes are Undertaker. This gives us some regen, some damage, and +2 corpses in case the timing gets messed up on him. You have some extra corpses for Detonate Dead to pull from. Elemental Overload does work with it according to PoB because it scales the fire damage, which is then converted. So it can scales the damage pre-convert. Clusters up here. Replica conquers efficiency for the mana cost, minus mana cost clarity, because every time the Arcanist brand casts, it takes the mana that it would have needed to cast Detonate Dead or Desecrate. So once it ramps up, you have to it's taking a lot of mana. So you have to have something like this or run EB or something. We are CI Occultist for the more damage, the free wither stacks, and the extra wither, and Maledictation and the ES node, so we don't get stunned because we are CI. And then the most important part of this is the Corpse Pact. So this gives you 2% increased attack and cast speed for each corpse consumed recently. Every time you consume a corpse, it increases the activation frequency of your Detonate Dead and your Desecrate. So if you look here, I have it at max stacks right now, 421. So we'll go to the configuration. That's at 100 corpses consumed. In the first 4 seconds, you'll have about 50. So that means you're casting at 3.21 when you first start off. You're at 2.21. So you start off around 2 casts per second, scale up to 3, scale up to 4. So this takes a few seconds to ramp up. The damage is supposedly pretty good on the way up there, so you probably shouldn't ever, once the build gets rolling, you shouldn't ever have to do it at 100% ramp up. You should be able to kill it or phase whatever boss you're facing beforehand. But we're at around 900k average hit. We have Awakened Spell Cascade on the Detonate Dead, which means each activation of this brand explodes 5 corpses, hitting for each for 900k. So that's around 2 casts per second. That's around 10 million DPS, right? 5 times 2, yeah. So around 10 million DPS if they all hit, scaling up to around 40 million DPS when you're casting 4 times per second with each brand. So you have to take Runebinder for this to work. You pull up this one, and you cast one on one Desecrate brand and one Detonate Dead brand on the boss. They overlap on each other and shoot. This ramps up the damage, and then Annihilating Light makes it, let me take this off, look at the damage, down to 300k, all the way up to 900k. So this is kind of the main item here. It allows you to scale chaos damage because you're doing chaos damage with an elemental skill. This build would be a lot better with Volatile Dead because you consume more corpses, and the spell damage can target even if you miss or the explosion misses the boss, but you can't convert that with an ashes, so didn't use that one. I think that's it. I just wanted to throw this out there. This is not a guide. Don't follow this build like step by step. It's just kind of a rough outline. If somebody knows how to make these builds better. The build doesn't feel like it's getting 5 mil DPS or 10 mil DPS, to be honest. I think I'm missing something mechanically, whether it's too much AoE on my Desecrate setup or something else. I have no idea, but I know people like these kinds of builds. The last important thing is the corpse life. So you have to have Lithomancers as your corpse that you do that you desecrate. So you get a raise Spectre Gem and then raise a Lithomancer as a Spectre, and then you throw the Spectre Gem away. That means we desecrate. I think half of them will be Lithomancers, which have 282,000 life, and so that puts you at 1.7 mil. However, not all of the corpses spawned will be Lithomancers. Half of them will be like the desecrated bone stalkers. So I just cut it in half to make the damage calculation pretty consistent on there. This is not with withered stacks. So once you get withered stacks on, it goes up to 1.5 million a hit. So the wither's really important with the ascendancy that we have in some of the nodes. But make sure you get a Lithomancer so you're actually getting damage off on this. Make sure these boxes are checked when you're trying to figure it out. But if anyone like plays this build and pushes it and makes the damage feel better than how I have it now, then please like comment and let me know. And I want to check it out because I think this is a really cool idea for a bosser. Brands are always really comfy because you get to cast them and run away. So would love to see it. Just want to throw this idea out there. Thanks. Bye.